cha-cha-cha with me. And I'ma cha-cha-cha with you tonight. It's day 51 and it has been a good day. What a difference a day makes. I mean, yesterday wasn't bad. You know, I was a little emotional, a lot less emotional today. You guys, I have been just chipping away and getting things done. I got some big things done. I booked my hotels for London. Yay! Yay, yay, yay! Talk about a relief. And I mean, it's gonna be, I think, so great. I'm so glad that, you know, I had the foresight to start strategizing ahead of time. And initially I was thinking, all right, for the 4 nights in the London city center, but then that means like an hour or more commute that morning, which makes for a very early morning. And let me tell you, the last time that I traveled like that was in Bangkok, and I think my flight left at 11 a.m. Yes, it was 11. And so a couple of hours later, and I was in an area, I was in Ekimai, and it was about 45 minutes away from the airport. The night before, I scheduled my Grab, which Grab is Thailand's rideshare service, like Lyft or Uber. It's called Grab. So I scheduled my Grab the night before because sometimes I found with Grab, you'd be waiting like 20 minutes to try to find a ride. So I didn't want to have that issue. So I just did it the night before. Well, they hadn't found anybody. And eventually I got a taxi cab that picked up the Grab. So I arranged the Grab to pick me up at like maybe, I want to say 8 o'clock or something. Was it? It was somewhere around there. And he was late. And I was out there pacing, and with Grab, you can see the driver like on the map trying to get to you. And it was like this long stretch, but long story short, my nerves were bad. And then when I got to the airport, I had to pay for that extra bag, and that was a bit of a challenge. And they had me going, you know, back and forth and stuff. And I got this, I'm hauling this luggage with me because I haven't checked it yet because I haven't paid for the extra bag. So I don't want those issues. Active traveling in and of itself is stressful enough without having disorganization and things like that. So for me, it was important, like, hey, I can spend my days there, and I don't mind the inconvenience of changing so that I don't have all of that stress on me. And so the hotel that I booked is right at the airport. I think it's like £5 for a transfer from on the shuttle to the airport. And that means I don't have to get up and be, you know, stressed and all of that. I just have to wake myself up. I found this hotel, and it seems to be a really nice hotel. It got 9 out of 10 on Expedia. It's called the Strand Palace Hotel, and it's like right in the perfect area that I am able to walk to a lot of different points of interest. Now, one thing that I love when I am traveling, and especially solo, is walkability. That ranks high on my list. It's up there. Like, I don't want to have to take public transportation I'm not opposed to it, but I don't want that. I don't want to be reliant upon that. I want to be right in the thick of it, just walk out and, you know, get lost and be in the neighborhood. And London has a lot of free museums, so I can just get out there. I'm gonna go to Mass at St. Paul's Cathedral on Sunday. So I'm really excited. This is huge. I also booked my travel insurance. I did that. I've never done that. I typically, with the cruise line, will do their insurance, but I actually booked travel insurance, and I listed every country except for one because they didn't have it on the drop down menu. So 14 countries on my policy, and I only did it for $2,500. The reason I did it for that amount was for a couple of reasons. When I was booking the hotel for London, both hotels, they had an option to do a non-refundable and an option to do refundable. And the refundable was like $115 more. So I started, contemplating going back and forth. Do I do the extra 100? But then I'm like, well, the importance of travel insurance outside of maybe your refundable ticket is in the event that you get sick, in the event that your luggage is delayed. This travel insurance is really important because it covers a lot of things that you take for granted when you're traveling. And so it will reimburse you for, if you have to be flown out, a medical evacuation, even a non-medical evacuation. So say in the case of like a natural disaster, or in the event there's a bombing or terrorist attack, something emergent like that, it will, cover accommodations and just different provisions. So I did that, and I just did it for, it was a toss-up because they want you to do it within so many days of when you make your purchase. So I did it today as soon as I booked my final 2 hotels. And I also, like I said, I did it for less than what the total trip is costing because I have the fully refundable flight for Delta on my outbound. And so should something happen and I don't am unable to go, then I can get that back. This travel insurance will cover the non-refundable flight on my return, my hotel, 2 hotel stays, my lodging for the safari. It was an additional $244. So not bad, because you consider I was going to pay an additional $115 just to have a refundable hotel. So, for $130 more, now it's covering, I'm insured on a lot of other pieces of the trip. So that's what I decided to do. And I would highly encourage you to look at it, to figure it out. It's insurance. It's an additional expense, and you're praying you don't have to use it, and that's what you're, paying for, that convenience. So you gotta balance it out. Do you want to do it this way or that way? And everybody, to each his own. So that is done. I also started folding those clothes, put them on the bed, doing counts. At first I had the outfit sorted by outfit. I have a pair of pants that I have 2 different tops that can go with. Right now I have 10 pairs of pants. It might be excessive. I don't know. But I'm going to be gone for 41 days. So you think about it. That's really, I don't think that's bad, because I'm going to be gone for 6 weeks, right? And so that's just pants. So I have 10 pairs of pants. I have 4, I think, dressy outfits for formal nights. And they're dresses, actually. I'm not going to even call it, they're not outfits, they're dresses. And then I have a couple of other warm climate. And here's the thing, my other challenge is that I'm gonna probably hit all of the seasons. When I fly to South Africa, it's going to be late autumn, early winter. And I think it might be in the 60s, but then you think about it, I'm going on a safari. I'm gonna be out in an open truck watching animals. So I need to layer up. And the same thing with the water. I'm going to be in the Atlantic Ocean, and then towards the end of the cruise, I'm sailing in the Baltic region of Europe. And this is not the warmest region. So it's going to be, I got to be prepared. I have exercise outfits and things. I think I really want to try to do that on this sailing, actually hit the gym, because it's right there. That's the one thing that I love about cruising, is that you have this whole little city right here on the ship. This is the first time I'll ever be on a ship for this amount of time. And I just, whatever I am able to do, I want to do it. And, this will be the perfect time to try to get into shape and snatch it up before my 50th, 26 days from the time I get on to when I turn 50. Back to my tracker, and I still have, it says 64 tasks remaining, and it's giving me 44% completion rate. I'm in a good place because a lot of it is nothing for the packing and wardrobe has been checked off. And so there's 0 of 17 tasks completed for that category. The tech and connectivity has been, it's like 8 of 18. The only category that is totally complete at this point is the health and medical. That's important. So that's done. I'm going to put myself together a packet like I do for my other travelers. It's really cool. Has the Fora app and all of the itinerary right there. So it's, right on your phone. I'll also print out physical copies so that, I have that information. I made the copy of my passport and my global entry card. So those are recommendations. I already have the list of numbers for the U.S. Embassy. And this is so cool and interesting to me because here's the thing. This is not my first rodeo outside of the country, but the diligence and the planning and the execution that I am taking, I've never done this. I never think about the embassy when I travel. But these are things that you should know, that you should have available to you so that in the event of an emergency, you aren't like freaking out and scrambling. But these are things that you take for granted, that you just don't think about. And I am an experienced traveler. So this is totally, eye-opening and will also, help me to be a better travel advisor because I can tell you, yes, do this. You should have this. And, it just like you never want an emergency to happen. But if you do, you have it all there and it's, you're not scrambling. So this project tracker and everything has been really, really helpful. Now that I have the London portion done, let's move back onto the ship and start looking at the excursions. And like I said, do I want to pay for specialty dining? Let me look at the number of restaurants that are included because, I told you yesterday, there's that whole financial aspect. And so while I do want to be in the moment, I also want to be mindful too. I don't want to just be spending for the sake of spending, and then I also, there's that, it's just all about the balance. So that is what has happened today. Evan just took my car. He is out doing some Instacart and he told me that he's going to start working back at Panera Bread next week. So yay for him. He was probably like, I don't know, that Instacart driving, it's probably just easier to go be stationary, work for somebody. And he doesn't really need to have his own schedule. So kudos to him for still being employed there after a few years and reaching out and getting on the schedule. So, talk about a Mother's Day gift. Back to London. I am super excited about this. Matilda, the musical, is playing. And I think I'm like 10 minutes walking distance from it. Now, what's significant about this? Well, my bonus son, Adrian, just starred in Matilda Jr. at his junior high school. He had 2 parts in the play. He was Mr. Wormwood, Matilda's dad, and then he was also the escapologist. It was so cool to watch him, and he's just coming into his own. So I'm interested to see it. The thing that helped me with London is number one, taking that step back. You know, like I told you, the decision-making fatigue was starting to set in, and, you know, getting overwhelmed about the finances. And, you know, sometimes you're just in the thick of it. You literally have to take a step back and remove yourself and just take a break and give your mind a chance to just rest, to focus on something different so that you can come back with a fresh set of eyes, a new perspective, and begin to tackle it again. And it doesn't seem so overwhelming. And that's what I did. If you don't use Expedia, I definitely recommend that you do. I like Expedia. I like that when you're looking for hotels, they will give you a map and it shows you, right there, the area. And so what I then started to do, which was helpful for me, is take that and started just going onto Google Maps and started just plugging in different points of interest. I could zoom out and look at them, but then I want to see what is the walking distance, because I don't want to spend a whole lot of time in transit. I mean, every so often, but if I can just get out and explore on foot, I'm happy. I'm in my element. So that was very helpful for me. And then I would take the hotel and I would pop it into Claude and ask, okay, what are you thinking about? What do you think about this hotel? Give me a little more of a rundown on, say, the hotel and the way that it affects my potential itinerary. And that's what I did. This will be interesting because the hotel room that I booked is a single. So London has twin beds. And this is new to me too. I'm used to a king or a queen or a double, something like that. No, their singles are twin beds. So it says a large twin bed. And I did the superior suite or superior single. It wasn't a suite, it was the superior single. Just looking on the picture, I liked it set up a little more than the classic, the way that the door, when you walk in and the bed, it was like right there. Downtime, I'm going to be in the room. Big check on my to-do list. It's a great day. Happy Friday. And I will talk to you good people tomorrow. Take care.